The former president of the United States has accepted an invitation from Greg Abbott, the governor of Texas, to go to the border, the southern border, the Mexican border. Yes. Yes, my friends. The Donald Trump is going to go to the southern border and tour it with Greg Abbott. Now, this actually kills a couple of birds with a single stone. Number one, Allen West, the grifter congressman turned grifty chairman of the Republican Party in Texas, has decided to challenge Greg Abbott, or at least now he says he's thinking about it. So Allen West, who there is enough baggage on that man to fill up the teepee where the Braves play. And he left Congress, went to work in the media for a while, decided to become the chairman of the Republican Party in Texas, actually had a fairly bad showing as the Republican Party chairman in Texas, and has now decided to quit being the chairman so that he can run for governor. And always be grifting, friends, always be grifting. I'm not impressed with the man, nor have I ever been. Republicans in Texas, the base, they're actually kind of hacked off. Now, there's not a lot of love lost between Greg Abbott and the base in Texas right now. The Republican base in Texas does not particularly care for Greg Abbott, but they're pretty hacked off that Allen West is suddenly going to quit being the chairman of the party and go run for governor when they put him there to help build the party up. And all he did was talk about secession and then bolted. So there's a lot of aggravation. Now, by Donald Trump taking Greg Abbott's offer, it highlights Greg Abbott getting FaceTime with Donald Trump at the border. I assure you Allen West will not be touring with them. So this helps Greg Abbott's reelection in the primary. It helps restore some trust between him and the Trump base. It allows Donald Trump to highlight the fact that when he was president, this mess was not happening. You did not have this flood and cavalcade across the border. You simply did not have it. And even reporters out there are willing to go on record and admit that this is happening in large part because of Washington, D.C. Mike Pompeo was on with me yesterday. Mike Pompeo, if you want to hear that interview, you can text the word Eric, E-R-I-C-K, to 33777. You can hear my interview with Mike Pompeo from yesterday, but this was him talking about the border situation the other day.
The conditions down there are no different today than they were in January of this year, and we've had multiples and multiples of people coming across the border. So it's not the conditions down there that have caused the current crisis at the border. It is the policies of the Biden administration. We knew how to make it work. I negotiated, remain in Mexico. We convinced the Mexicans and the Central American countries this was in their best interest as well. Don't take my word for it. This week, the Mexican leadership and the Guatemalan leadership said this problem is a direct result of Team Biden's foreign policy and its immigration policy. No, the conditions are pretty static down there. We should do the things we can to make them better. But the first responsibility is to keep our southern border secure. We had it done, Chris. We got there. It's just simple math. 180,000 in May is the highest in 20 years. This is a result of a bad border policy. It's created a crisis. It's caused enormous devastation to the human beings that are being trafficked across the border. This is not only bad for them, it's really bad for the United States, and it's not a result of what's happening in Central America. It's a result of what's happening in Washington, D.C.
That was Mike Pompeo, and he's not wrong. We've even got we've got reporters who are going down to the border interviewing refugees who say, well, we wouldn't have come when Donald Trump was here. They're coming now. So Trump gets to highlight exactly how the Biden administration has failed. Trump gets to help Greg Abbott. Trump gets to remind people when he was president, this wasn't a problem. Trump gets to remind people about his border wall. And he gets to highlight the fact that Kamala Harris is nowhere to be seen. The thinking already among people on the left and the right is that Harris is going to be the Democratic nominee in 2024. I don't know that she is, but the current thinking, the truth of the matter asserted, is that Kamala Harris will be the Democratic nominee, not Joe Biden. And the result is they've been trying to game out the scenarios by which to go after Harris, and the border is the issue. Kamala Harris cannot help herself except to screw up the border. The result is that Donald Trump has a campaign issue ready to go against her should he run in 2024, but so does Ron DeSantis and every other Republican. The border right now is a big issue, not just for your average white American. And see, this is the thing. Democrats have so internalized race that they think only white people care about this issue. But actually, there are a vast array of Hispanic voters who came here illegally who are livid about what's happening at the border. Also, they're livid because of the conditions at the border that some of their family members are now trapped in. They're really, really upset about it. This polls terribly across the board. The result, of course, is that the Democrats have no answer except anything Trump did was bad. It turns out that what Donald Trump did wasn't that bad. And now it turns out that, in fact, they may have to reverse and embrace some of Donald Trump's policies, at which point Donald Trump can point out that they're now embracing his policies, rejecting their own policies. All of this is a perfect storm to get Donald Trump reelected in 2024 or get Ron DeSantis or Mike Pompeo or Nikki Haley or Tom Cotton or any of the other Republicans elected by pointing out that the prior policies worked and the current policies don't, on top of everything else going on. And frankly, Kamala Harris is a terrible candidate.